The soul is both material and spiritual, which means it has material interests. Its body, it's animal, it's seeking for pleasure, it's seeking money, it's seeking sex. Emotionally, it's seeking romance, it's seeking love, and intellectually, it's seeking reason, it's seeking an understanding of things. And all these branches must serve the soul for them to be useful, right? Now, when I was young, I was in trouble, as most people are in trouble when they're in their adolescent years. They're confused. They're coming out of the child state and they're trying to get into adult state. Adolescence is a very, very difficult time because it needs an integration into the real world, which the school system does not prepare you for. The realities of money are usually never discussed. Mortgage, rent, sexual needs, romantic needs are never addressed by the school system. The school system was built by Jesuits who were trying to teach the Bible, and we're basically stuck with that model of education. Now, when most of the people who are attracted to meditation or spiritual meditation are basically people who have problems, who are peaceless, who are tortured souls. We come from very difficult problems in humanity. Most of us come from very difficult families who don't allow us to thrive in our own soul. We have to obey a lot of orders for many, many years. The school system is a 22-year ordeal from the ages of 6 to 28. If you go to the PhD level, it's a very long time. So a lot of teenagers and adolescents practice different things to, get out of frustration and suffering. A lot of adolescents are suffering. It's a suffering stage of life. It's very difficult, right? Some go into pot. Some go into alcohol. Some go into illegal drugs. They try anything. They try to have some fun and stay out very, very late at night and party very, very late because society doesn't give you any fun, doesn't give you any enjoyment of life. When you go to school, there is no fun. It's all about algebra and mathematics and science and English and all this kind of stuff. The endless kind of tasks that kill the fun out of life. Fun is not a subject. And therefore, the capacity to have fun dies in the school system. Another option that is tried is spirituality. There's a lot of spiritual groups selling spiritual meditation. What is meditation? Meditation is really just profound concentration. That's all it is. So when people meditate on material things, for example, they concentrate on money and how to make money, and when you're continuously thinking about money, you're meditating on money. If you concentrate on sex or pleasure of any kind, you're meditating on pleasure, you're meditating on sex. Meditation just means profound concentration. But spiritual meditation is a quest for peace at any cost. The soul is troubled and it's looking for an attic to hide in. Spiritual meditation is kind of like an escape to the attic of the psyche and trying to stay at peace in that attic, and it takes continuous practice of basically creating a wall here against the living room of life where all the trouble exists. If you have trouble with your parents, if you have trouble with money, if you have trouble with romance, if you have trouble with sex, if you have trouble with your children, if there's a divorce, it can torture the soul so much. It's just looking for a place to have a little peace. And that peace is usually a suppression of the problem. Just like when you drink alcohol, you just want to forget your problems for a while to give you strength, to face them. But spiritual meditation does not encourage facing one's problem and resolving one's problem. Spiritual meditation is escape of the problems for a lifetime. I practiced spiritual meditation for 7 years, and I became insane as a result of spiritual meditation. Spirituality claims to be one. There's a lot of the word one, be one, the vision of oneness. Vedanta in Hinduism, which is what I practice, is the vision of oneness, Vedanta. There is no oneness in spirituality. The spirit is opposite to matter. Instead of the soul being material, the soul is spiritual, which means it's dividing its material interest. The soul abandons its material interest to get into its spiritual interest, and to get into deep spirituality. You're just trying to escape completely from the planet and from life. You damn the planet, you damn your desires, you damn your sexuality, you damn anything you want on this planet is considered to be evil because it's a temporary joy, as if peace is not a temporary joy. Oh, peace is also a temporary joy. You have to meditate to be at peace. Once the peace wears out, you have to meditate again, which means peace, spiritual peace, is a temporary pleasure as well. Peace is a pleasure. You're peaceful for a while. You've meditated for 5 hours and you're at peace. But 3 hours later, when the lawyer calls about something, you're going to fall into trouble again. And so you're going to need to meditate again. So meditation becomes just like pleasure, just like money, and just like sex, temporary. Buddhism thinks, and Hinduism believes, that there's eternal peace. That is not true. Peace is something that the soul has to work at continuously and prevent itself from getting back to the living room of life where there's always trouble, right? So peace itself is temporary. The Buddha lied, right? He had to meditate continuously to stay at peace, which means he had to be active and working at this peace all the time. My guru was meditating all the time because he would lose that peace. When he was confronted in the world, when he went to buy a cup of coffee, when he had to deal with money and problems in life, his peace would be lost. He needed to meditate again. So how's that any different than any other object that the soul is after? It's temporary. Everything is temporary. Even peace is temporary. Spiritual meditation is the practice of escapism of life on earth, escapism of human life, basically, right? And the practice of fear of it, because when you're trying to escape something, it's because you're afraid of it, okay? If you're trying to escape something, you're not one with that, what you're trying to escape at the same time. Spirituality claims to be one. Spirituality is not one. Spirituality is two. All right. Spirituality is a duality, is a very big duality against the animal self and the physical self and matter itself. So there is no oneness in spirituality. It's the practice of duality. The more you practice meditation, the more you're not one with the world. The more you're just high flying like a cocaine addict who can't get enough cocaine. Spirituality is a very good name on our planet. It should have a very bad name on our planet. A little peace, is good for the soul. But too much peace is deadly. It becomes a desire to become extinct, a desire never to be born again, a desire to get into the sky of the dead and disappear into this peace of mind, which is not exactly permanent. Once you're dead enough in the spirit world, once you have meditated strong enough in spirituality, you don't even know if you exist or if you don't exist. That's how strong spirituality is. And this type of meditation is going on in India all the time. There's a tremendous heritage of spiritual meditation in India. But there is no Almighty God. There's no omniscient God. I mean, this spirit God doesn't even know the earth is round and is a sphere. This spirit God doesn't know that matter is electric. It's electronic in nature. He thinks matter is just like dust or earth. That's not true. Matter is electric. There's an electronic, atomic, electrons, neutrons, protons. All these things are electronic type of entities. The spirit doesn't understand the nature of matter. The spirit doesn't understand the nature of money either. Money is always produced by somebody's work on this planet. Okay? Money does not come from the sky. There are no pennies from heaven. Therefore, the biggest hypocrisy is how meditation is financed. Okay? That the people who get into meditation lose the desire to work. They are unable to work because of the detachment they get from the body and the animal. They're unable to. They just want to meditate all the time. They don't want to work. They feel like they're privileged, advanced souls that need to loot their parents' wallets and purses in order to finance their meditation. Or they beg. Where is a God when you have to beg for money to meditate for a lifetime? The spiritual heritage is terrible, especially the monastic spiritual heritage. The secular spiritual heritage is kind of harmless. It's having faith in a God which empowers the soul and gives you strength to go on in life, which is kind of innocent, right? But when you get into the monastic stuff, the priest and the nun level of spirituality, you go into the insanity of basically dividing your soul completely from matter, from animal and physical interests. So spirituality is an evil, just like materiality is an evil. If a soul is too material, if you're too much into money, if you're too much into pleasure, if you're too much into sex, you have a problem because your head and heart begin to die. Well, spirituality is the opposite evil. If you're too much into the heart, and if you're too much into the head, if you're too much into meditation, spiritual, your lower faculties begin to die, and you begin to be sick. As a lot of spiritualists are sick. They're sick in their animal, and they're sick in their physique. And they think they're divine at the same time. Divinity is not having any trouble at all. Neither spiritual trouble or material trouble. So divinity is a different kind of meditation. There is a core meditation, which is meditating on the nature of the soul itself without unifying with the spirit. That meditation I call core meditation.